Hey guys, you are welcome back to the podcast. My name is Courage. If you are new on here and haven't caught up to everything that has been going on, we've been away for a while and this is like officially the fourth episode I'm recording this year. It's so crazy. But the audio episodes have been going out every single week and I want to give a very big shout out to some of you who have been tuning in on Spotify. It means so much to me and it just means that we have real people on this podcast. But I'm excited to be back, excited to be in a new setting. And I have a wonderful friend with me today. Say hi, Philippah.
Hey, Karen, you're so good to be here again with you.
I know.
You're amazing.
So
and you're looking
back.
amazing.
Thank you. You too. There's some matching going on here.
Yeah, there is.
But you're welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you guys are not familiar, Philippah has been here before, 2024. So if you want to catch that episode, you can go back and check it out. But I wanted to bring you guys up to speed with a few things and some changes that have been happening on the podcast. It's now called In the Meantime. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did do the announcement on Instagram and a few other places. But I'm really excited about this change and this rebrand and name change because I just feel like it truly represents who I am now as a person and just the journey that I've been on emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. And I just really want us to continue going in that momentum. It used to be called She Is Strong Podcast. For some of you are like, what is going on? So it used to be called She Is Strong Podcast. And I'm truly so grateful that name or whatever it stood for was able to be a source of encouragement to so many women. And it was actually rooted in scripture. So it wasn't just an empowerment kind of statement, but it was rooted in scripture because I got it from the scripture in our weakness, he is strong. I just didn't want to call it she's weak, but it was all rooted in scripture. And I'm just so grateful for the journey that we've been on. But I'm happy that, in the meantime, it's still going to be the same thing. We're going to still be looking at topics that help you live an intentional life and step into the person that God has created you to be. But now I just feel like I have another perspective to life as I've grown, as I've matured, and as I've experienced so much. I just feel like there's more to this. And I really want to share that gift with everyone because while we're waiting for whatever it is we're waiting for, I would love to help people truly be intentional in living the life that they have now and not just waiting for then, and also like preparing for what comes after this life. So yeah, that's just a little bit about everything. So I'm excited to go on this journey, and I brought Philippah here today because we had a conversation and the conversation actually inspired this episode, and she was like, we should talk a little bit more about our journeys in Dubai,
especially yours. Because you're always interviewing other people. So we want to hear your story more than we hear. We want to hear the stories as well. But you are an amazing person and we want to know more about you, Courage.
Thank you so much. So you actually inspired this. So I was like, let's probably start off this season with, talking about my own journey, growing in Dubai, because I came here when I was 20 and it's been a good 7 years. I don't know how it happened, but then it's been a journey of like growing and changing and improving and learning more about myself, getting to know more people. So but then I want to throw it to you a little bit. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, so we can catch up with you and then we can deep dive into what we're talking about today.
Well, I love the change, Courage, and way to go, because life is always evolving. We are learning, and as we learn, we evolve. So we cannot stay the same. So with me as well, from the last time we met, things are happening.
I can see so many things happening with you.
Yeah, things are happening. So I'm a wellness and a fitness coach and a life coach as well. And I love working with people. I love creating communities and I have a number of groups that do different things. And so I'm just working mostly within faith-based communities, but also reaching out to non-Christians as well. It's like a bridge. My faith-based communities are a bridge. Whatever we do, we want to leave the door open to allow others to come and connect with us, to know us, and so that we can influence them positively. So that's what I've been doing. A lot of courses that I'm developing, a number of courses, trying to go more corporate than just do, one-on-one or group workouts or doing more talks, wellness talks, corporate and women's events. I love working with women. Because I'm a woman, I understand women better.
You understand our journey.
So what more than to work with women? And as I work with women, I get to know myself. I get to learn from them and I get to learn more about myself and evolve.
Yeah. And there's this beautiful reflection that we see in each other, especially as women. So I love it so much because sometimes you leave a conversation feeling like, oh, I'm really not alone. Because like with women, I feel like we go through a lot of things and our hormones play a big part in that. And we have all these cycles throughout the month. You don't have the same mood. There's some times where you're like really
you do my course?
Girl, I'm doing my own life course at this point.
It's so like that. That's something I'm now developing. I've got a course on reproductive health, and that's when I'm doing my personal training or group training with women. That's what I'm targeting on because that's who we are. We're not like men. So I love that we are moving.
And I feel
together.
like for me, this is where I'm trying to drive out this this podcast too, because I'd really love to get women to be more introspective as much as we're also doing this many things. I want them to get to understand the fullness of their creation. So but let's talk a little bit about our journey, especially when it comes to things like resilience and stuff, because I think when we were having the conversation, like we talked about the different phases and stages, how when we came to Dubai, who we were and who we are now, and just the amount of stamina, I would like to call it, the amount of stamina, resilience, and just like pushing through so many situations and different changes that has got us to where we are today. So I just started off with the question, let me just throw it to you. What does resilience look like for you now than it did when you just came here? So how long have you been here, first of all?
8 years. I think it's 8. I came in 2017. Okay. So it's 8 years.
I came 2018.
Like the same. So resilience, what it means to me, it's almost like the same as your previous name. She's strong. We have it within us as women. Every woman, we have a level of resilience. And of course, it grows with experience. I find that as I grow older, the things that I used to take, the way I used to look at life has changed. Because I've experienced more in life. I've learned more. And I've become stronger because of what I've learned. I've learned to stand my ground, to know who I am. I'm still discovering myself. But with that, I'm very much open. Before, I used to be like, this is it. There's nothing else. Life is not black and white. And the knowledge that you know, the Bible says that we know in part and we prophesy in part. So you don't know everything. No one knows everything. If you come across somebody who says, this is it, it's like this, it's supposed to be like this. Because science is changing. People are learning. We are learning the world. So just be open-minded. So just being resilient for me, it's just keeping myself open. I'm not saying this is the line, this is the cutoff line of how strong I am or who I am. I'm saying I'm open. And as I'm open, I'm allowing myself to move, evolve, progress. These days, I'm talking a lot about progression, not about perfection. So I don't think resilience, we can put a standpoint and say, this is it. No. It's open.
But I love that you said that because I feel like it relates to how I see resilience too, because you're like, there's no cutoff point. Like you need to leave it open. Like I feel like that's how I feel when I just came here, because I came here when I was just like leaving my teens and I'm just like out of school, everything is just happening, job, school, and just so much.
You came as a baby.
So, and then I was just like on discovering life on my own and with God. And I think back then, maybe because of the way I was brought up and just everything, resilience for me at that time was like pushing through in every situation, like whether it's hard or it's good, whatever it is, I want to, fight. I want to stand up for myself. I want to survive. Let's put it like that. But I think now it looks very different from before. Because I know we don't like to use the word balance, but I try to be in a midpoint when it comes to resilience. Like, yes, I can fight. Yes, I can push through, because some situations actually need you to push through and be like, let me give it my best. And if it doesn't work out, okay, then I actually tried. And then there's some situations, and this I learned by experience, where God was like, this is really not your battle. Like, why are you trying to make it fit the box? Why are you trying to make this thing look like this thing? So I'm in a place where I'm like, yes, I'm resilient, but I'm also soft in a way that I can know when I have to fight, and I know when I have to stop, and I know when I have to rest, and I know when I have to, maybe give up on this thing because it's literally really not working out. So I think in life with resilience, you need to be in a midpoint, because you can end up being resilient in very stupid things.
Yeah.
Like things that will not, like really, like things that will not foster your growth and anyone else's growth, and even just like improve you as a human being. So sometimes I have to ask the Lord, like not even like sometimes, all the time. There's sometimes when situations are really hard, I have to go back to God and be like, should I engage? Should I push through?
Yeah.
And if it's like, no, I really have to stop it, because then you're living in disobedience if you're trying to make things work when that season has ended. Yeah.
You know what? It goes back to learning yourself, knowing your body.
Yes.
And if you're looking at the cycle, we are into that at the moment. You know, there are 4 cycles in a month for a woman. So there are lows, ups, lows. So when you're up, you're strong, you're a go-getter, you're a powerhouse, you're thriving, you go for it. When it's the lows, embrace the lows, embrace the softness, the femininity. Embrace yourself. Allow yourself to relax. You don't always have to be pushing and pushing and pushing. Learn yourself, flow with yourself, and go on with life. Because that will change as we get older. You have perimenopause, and then you've got postmenopause. You are changing. Your body's changing. Life is changing. What you're working on is changing. So flow with it, learn yourself, and when you have to be resilient, when you have to be strong, be that. When not, let it go.
That's true. And I feel like this is a city that teaches you that, because I think in this place, like everyone is hustling, everyone is always on the go. Half of us came here to like either work for ourselves or for our families, or some people just really wanted a career change or a city change, whatever it is that we're looking for. But we live in a place that is like 90% full of expats. So I think sometimes it could be hard for you to, really go with the flow, because the city warranties you to always be on the go. And even with you being in spaces where you're going through maybe a job loss, or changes with community, changes with like whatever it is, you changing career or leveling up, or maybe changing companies, it looks different for everyone. And I realized going through it that most of us don't yet know how to process so many life transitions and so many things. And I really wish like we would talk about it a little bit more, like for you, how was like transitioning jobs here? How did it look like?
I was fortunate enough to come from, probably just who I am. I love being active a lot. I love being mobile. So even when I was back home and coming here, just to work for the money to come here, I was doing a number of jobs. I was doing a lot of things. I had a full-time job, and then on the side, I was doing so many things. So I was used to being moving and being... And doing something, always being active. So relaxing for me was like, ooh, So when I came here, because the life was like that, it first was adapting, of course, to the job. They used to call it UAE experience.
I know.
I wasn't doing a lot of socials. It was just work for me. Maybe it was the job as well. It was like a 14-hour job or something like that. So it was just work, wake up early. The work was far for to get there, work, come back. You're just sleeping.
But that's the reality of so many people here.
That's,
isn't
it?
And sleep and work and sleep.
It's a few people that actually have that laughter where they can relax. But even those people that have it, they're always on the go. People don't relax.
I think with that, you need to be intentional with rest and a rhythm.
Exactly.
In a city like this, you need to be like, okay, I'm putting these systems, because I call them systems. I'm putting these systems in place, and then you try to push yourself to even do a little bit of extra social activities. You need to, like, lately I've been realizing how much of I don't know how to put it, but I think maybe it's a phase in life, but like how much of a homebody I am. I don't want to go out. I don't want to just, when I go into a place and there's so much noise, I'm like, what am I doing here? I want to go back home. So I actually need to be intentional now with like pushing myself to go to places, meet new people, because I also do I'm also now like work and sleep, especially as I was not doing the podcast a lot. And this is like my creative outlet and just so many other things. But I think you need to be intentional with your rest time, your social life, investing in friendships and community, even investing in yourself. Like, I want to learn a new, course that will help me in the future with my career and just so many things.
I remember when one of the jobs I was at when I got here, it was like work, home, and then I'll do a workout. I wasn't into fitness like now,
Yeah.
but I knew that it was important for me to exercise and to work out. And then they used to say, I was an administrative assistant. It was a law firm, and networking was important, going to events. And so they'll be having a lot of dinners, and I remember, I think about it now, and I'd ask, do I need to go? I'm thinking, Philippah, now I'm appreciating it because they taught me something I didn't know. Now I'm doing my own thing, and I know networking is important. Now I understand why they wanted me to be out there more.
Yeah.
So it is important. If somebody tells you, let's do this, sometimes even if you
don't want to try,
or you don't understand it, they're telling you because they know its importance. So if you have certain people in your circles who tell you, do this, let's go there, let's do that, just go. Because they know what they're talking about.
Because people can't see us more than we can see ourselves sometimes. Like, you don't even know what someone is seeing, the potential they're seeing in you, and they're like, if she gets into this room, it's probably going to be really good for her.
For sure.
So like, if you have trusted voices around you and they tell you like, go try this thing or do this thing. Like, I have a friend like that. She just puts my name off. She volunteers me for everything. And she's like, Courage can do it. She can do it. So
you actually did that to me. I wanted to thank you for connecting me with Braun.
Oh, that's so good.
She told me you're the one who referred me, so thank you so much.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you need just trust. But I don't listen to everyone like that. But I just have a few people that when she calls me, she's like, I've put your name off for you. You're gonna go do them. That okay, I'm gonna go, and then I go and I actually enjoy it and I actually like it.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna pass it all over to you. What are the questions you want to ask me today? Okay.
I've got a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
So I want you to tell us the stages that you went through, because you asked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to be specific about the stages that you went through from the time you came to Dubai.
Oh, wow.
The in between and where you're at now and where you're looking to go.
Going.
Yeah.
Okay. I love where I'm looking at going.
What's your approach? Do you have that vision to where you're going?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Yeah.
So can you walk us through that?
I think maybe I'm going to start the question invest, but then I think career-wise, I do know where I'm going to. Like, I feel like I have a clear picture of like the person that I want to be, because I love to say, like, a colleague of mine said this funny thing the other day. She was like, she feels like I'm like Hannah Montana. I don't know if you know Hannah Montana.
I know.
Like,
my God, she's like,
so she's like, because she was living a double life. Like, she goes to school normally and then she's a pop star. So she was like, this one comes to work and you cannot even know she's doing anything. And then the next minute you look at her Instagram, she's doing a podcast. So, I do sometimes when I go for networking events and people are like, what do you do? I was like, where do you want me to start? Because I do sometimes feel like I'm living a double life. But and
you're also into fashion, there's so many things
I have so many layers.
That's why I want you to tell us. Because I was so surprised when you're telling me you were into fashion and all that stuff. So let people get to know you. What is it? Even from back home, just tell us that transition and the things you've been in and out of.
Oh wow, there's a lot.
Yeah.
But then I got into fashion like when I was a teenager, like very young. I don't know how. I think I know how. So I had this aunt who used to, she was a seamstress, so she would make clothes. So after school, I'd always watch her. She never let me use her machine, but I just watch her do it. So I just watch her do it. And then my grandmom used to do like these markings and everything. So we had that at home, and my mom will always say, your grandma made that, your grandma made that. So I was like, I could probably do this. So I think I started marking, and then as I watched my aunt enough, at some point I just wanted to wear what I wanted to wear that I made. So that's how we started. So I started making the clothes with my hands, and then it got to a point I told my mom, I was like, I need a sewing machine. So thank God for mothers who are like really kind. So she got me the cheapest one we could find at that time. She got me a sewing machine, and then I started making my own clothes. And as I wore them a little bit more, people noticed, and as I spoke about them, I started getting recommendations. That's how I got into social media, because before I used to just share my devotionals on my Facebook. But back then it was only Facebook. And then I went for this.
See the connection from fashion, got into social media.
Not the social media.
The links.
I know. So I went for this masterclass with like this big fashion designer back then, and she was like, get into social media, put your designs on there. That's how you get people to share it and talk about it. So that's how I started doing social media. I would post my designs, but then because I was a Christian, there was this balance of like, I'm gonna share my devotional there in the morning, and then I'm gonna talk about fashion the next minute.
Yeah.
But that's how I also got into social media. And how I got into speaking and everything was like, because I did fashion, people would want to interview me on radio and everything.
Wow.
And then I got into university. The course that I wanted to study, I couldn't get there because I was lacking.
What was it? What did you want to do?
I wanted to study business administration.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of the things.
because it was something it was the progression of what I had done up until then. So I was like, let me just get a degree in this. So, but then I was lacking 1 point to get into that department. So I did the exam again, and I was like, okay, maybe the next year I can try again.
Yeah.
I didn't still get it. So my uncle was like, just do something else. So the closest one to the points that I had to make it to, like the highest point, I could get into journalism. And that's how I got into journalism. And maybe that's where I learned I also learned photography in journalism school. And just like videos and all the things. And I did radio and I did TV, most of those things. And then I used to do a lot of fashion shows. While I was in school, I would go for like shows. It was fun. At that time, I was just
How
having
old
fun.
were you?
I was a teenager then. I was like,
wow.
Maybe I think from 15 to 20.
Yeah,
that was my.
You are gifted.
Yeah, that was my trajectory. And then so that was just it, like going through school. And then I was also in a church community that really encouraged creativity. So like we did a lot of singing, dancing. It was like this whole creative arts kind of thing. It was so much fun. It was so good. So I had the energy then. Like we would do all-nighters. Like it was so much fun. I think maybe that's why I'm like this, because we had people who were doing multiple things and it was encouraged. So I never used to think me having so many hobbies was an issue till I was like 25. Because then someone is like, okay, I want to understand you. But I'm like, I do all of these things. Which part do you want to understand? But I feel like that's why I went through my own journey of like getting to a place where I'm like, you cannot really understand me. I'm very versatile. Take what you will. Because I feel like as you grow, especially for young people, society wants to break it down. But I'm like, you cannot really box.
I love that you're talking about that.
So I just got into a place where I had to go through that journey, and then I fully accepted that, okay, this is all I can do, and I think I'm going to keep exploring, and I want to keep doing more, and I'm just going to continue doing it. So, and then I came to Dubai. I started working with a fashion house when I came here. It was very nice. It was a really good job, but it was like long hours, and you know how Dubai is. So I didn't have a life outside of anything. And it was just really tiring. So after my contract ended, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That was like 2 years?
Yeah, that was 2 years. I was like, I don't want to do fashion because I am in fashion. At that time, I wasn't even thinking about podcasting. I was just blogging at that time. So I was like, I am in fashion, so I'm not going to work for a fashion house, so I can do my own thing. Let me try to explore Dubai a little bit. But then I got into I think my third job. It was a very horrible experience. And it was something all with like fashion styling and everything, because I was like, yeah, let me still keep learning. But it was like really horrible. I got my first work burnout then. And I got really sick during that season. It was from that job that I got really sick. And it's just been a progression of like trying to heal from that. And then when I left that job...
Were you going to fellowship at that time?
Not yet. Not yet. It was at that burnout that I started going to fellowship. So I've often feel like God knew what he was doing, because that was like right out of COVID. And then I found fellowship because like churches were closed. The church I was going to was closed at the time. So I went to fellowship and I just knew I was meant to be there. And then the community that I joined at that time, because I wasn't really serving or doing anything, they were like a family. And then when I got sick, these people were showing up so much. I was like, God knew what he was doing, because I don't even know what I would do without these people. So I just feel like that's the thing with God. He knows what you need when you need it, and he'll put you there. So I think after I recovered from that, I was like, okay, I'm done with all of this. And then that was when I was really loving podcasting, because that was when I started the audio thing, and it was like really okay, and people were listening to it. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should just really continue doing this. I felt like God was like,
so
okay,
your podcasting thing started way back,
Yeah. So when I came here, I started blogging. And 2 years after, like when that contract ended, the blogging site I was using, they were like, turn your blog into a podcast. That was literally how I started like recording the podcast. So it was just like, because the blog was just like me going through life, and I was like writing out what I was learning on my own, what God was teaching me, and that was what the blog was about. So I started recording what I was writing, and then over time I just started speaking more, and that's how the podcast really starts. Well, I did audio for a long time, and I actually liked doing audio. This video thing just came from like people encouraging me, like, go and do it. Video is better. Video is better, you know. So, but I do love audio more. But yeah, so I was like, I don't want to do fashion anymore. I feel like God has told me to put that down, and I feel like I'm grateful because that journey taught me to let go of things. Because I feel like sometimes when your identity is tied to a thing, you're like, no, God, I don't want to put it down. But I think He really taught me during that season, was like, this is not really your identity. So even if you put it down, I'll give you something else. So
you
I
know
think,
what?
yeah.
Hold your thought.
Yeah.
Because I tend to forget something if I'm stopped. But I want to go back to that later on. Just remind me if I forget.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the fashion thing. So if I forget to ask you, just say, Philippah, the fashion thing.
The fashion thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But I do feel like I will still do fashion in the future because I do still like styling. I love modest fashion. So that's something I'm really interested in. And I also want to do merch sometimes. So I'm still interested in designing and sketching. I still do that when I'm like chilling. But yeah, it's not really like a priority for me. I just felt like that season has ended and God was just ushering me into something else. But right now I work a normal corporate job. I actually really like my job. I know it's weird when I say it because a lot of Gen Zs don't actually like the job.
Which industry is this now?
So right now I work in a law firm.
Oh.
So back to you. Yeah, but then
I'm seeing a lot of connections that I think we're twins or something. Even when you're talking about your life, back at your church and the things you're doing, it's like you're talking about my life. So whatever she's saying, that's me as well. Oh, law firm, yeah?
Yeah, so I work in a law firm now. But before that,
very corporate.
Yeah, very corporate. Now,
where's the creativity in the law firm?
Actually, no. I just wanted a normal job. Yeah. I just wanted a regular job. I go to work and I come back home, and so I can have energy to maybe pour it into this. And
but you see, your creativity hasn't stopped. Yes, you're still doing it on your own.
Yeah,
that's the thing I like.
So that's what I wanted. Yeah, I wanted a clear distinction. But before this, I used to work in marketing and real estate. So that was okay. But I just really felt like the real estate industry in Dubai is kind of too unstable. Like 1 minute is up, 1 minute is down. It's a really good, lucrative industry and everything. Yeah. But I just really felt like it wasn't for me because I'd had like 2 job losses from there. The first company I worked at, they closed down. Like literally, they told us today they're closing down tomorrow. So it was kind of like a, And then the next one I worked at, they did like this mass layoffs at the beginning of the year. So 100 of us were laid off, and I was like, okay, real estate is probably not for me.
Is it just real estate? Isn't it happening with most? I know with the COVID situation,
it does. But it was after COVID. Like I know that these things happened, but just being in the industry for like 2 to 3 years, I saw that it was not very stable for me, and I was like, if I want a progressive future in my corporate life, I think I need to switch a little bit, and communication is still part of it. So I'm just grateful for where I am, and I'm learning too, because it's something very different from what I've done. It's like out of everything. But I like it, and I'm learning new things, and I'm excited for where I'm gonna go in the future. But that's been my journey up until now. So I'm very much one person that I'm gonna encourage you to, if you feel like you want a corporate job, you go and do that. If you feel like, okay, it's not for me, I want to do entrepreneurship, go and do that. Like, I'm not against like you quitting your job or starting social media, because that's what a lot of people are doing now. But I do still like connect with people who are like, I really think in regular 9 to 5 is for me. And I don't think that's a problem. So for me, I like this balance because I love a good routine. So I feel like having a corporate job keeps me on my
grounded.
Routine. But when I'm just like there, I could follow my routine, but I don't think I would stick to it as much as I know, okay, I'm waking up at this time and I'm going to bed at this time. I have my little workout here. I have my doctor's appointment, my time for journaling, my this, my that. So it gives me this structure in my life. I really love it.
So that's the structure. You're looking for structure right now.
I love structure.
Because when you're looking at creative people, they don't like structure. They just like to flow everything like that. So when did you discover this? Is that something that has always been a part of you? Or is something that you came to a realization that I actually do need this in my life? When did that happen?
I do feel like it's maybe a little bit always been a part of me, because like my family jokes around a little bit. They're like, they feel like I behave like the oldest when I'm the youngest. You know what I mean? Like my mom is always like, she likes rules. She wants to stick to this. She wants to stick.
Yeah, you seem like a person who's like the oldest in your family.
I love that. Like if it's like this, let it be like this.
Yeah.
But I'm still open to like, okay, things can happen how they happen. But I do think that when there's this, because God is a God of order too. I feel like when you're everywhere, it's just quite confusing. Like even as a creative person, I do a lot of things. Sometimes people look at me and they're like, you're everywhere. I'm like, but really I'm not. Because I know myself more than you. I'm really not, but you see it like that. But I have a really good structure that's working for me. So, but I feel like I've always been like that. But after I turned maybe like 26, because I feel like...
Do you want to share your age now?
I'm 27. I'm turning 28 in 3 weeks. It's really crazy. Yeah.
You're still a baby.
Yeah. I'm excited though. I'm excited about getting older. Yeah, but then I just feel like when you're a little bit younger, I know when I say that, people are like, but how old are you? But I feel like the energy or the space that I used to have when I was, at that age, or maybe a teen and a young adult, I don't have that energy now. Like I could go with 3 hours of sleep. I cannot go with 3 hours of sleep now. I need a full 8.
You do.
If I have 5 hours of sleep, you can know. Like, not like I'm angry at people, but my body is physically tired. Also because I have a lot of health issues. So I need to be on a pace for me to even be healthy as a person. It's not just about me having routines and everything. Sometimes because I think so many people who watch this know my friend Elizabeth. So I often tell Elizabeth that I feel like the thorn in my flesh, because you know how God gives people thorn in the flesh sometimes. So I'm like, sometimes feel like the thorn in my flesh is my health, because I lose my voice sometimes. Like when I overwork myself, my body shuts down. So sometimes when my body is shutting down, I always feel like that's a signal from God that, courage, you're doing too much. You've gone out of your rhythm. Something is off here. So for me, I try to pay attention to how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, as much as I want to. That's important. Maybe do the things that I used to, because sometimes I miss that version of me who didn't used to think too much about it. Because literally, I was thinking, I didn't think about anything. If I wanted to do something, you could see me tomorrow in Abu Dhabi, and then the next day I'm here. So I was like always on the move, and I was enjoying it. It was not because of any other issue, because sometimes I feel like we're always trying to look for reasons why people do things, but I genuinely just enjoyed everything that I did. But now, I think as you grow older, you're looking for this structure too. So so as I'm growing, I want to be in a space where I allow myself to experience life and not just go through it. I want to breathe in my life and not run through it, not hurry. There's no race. There's nothing like this. I define success, and I define it according to God's standard. So I'm a Christian. Normally, I'll go back to my values in the Bible. That's my manual. So I look at the word and not what people are telling me, not what society, because I sometimes feel like people try to breathe down things on me. You should be doing this. You should be doing like, I know. And it's a nice thing. It's coming from the best place ever. Like they're talking out of the goodness of their hearts. But I'm just like, I want to be doing the God thing at God's time, and not just because, okay, I have this ability, I want to monetize, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like it's okay also to just live. Like, yes. And I also feel like God makes up for those things that you're not doing how everyone thinks it should be done. So I think just getting to a place where I'm like, this is how I function. And I'm going to keep functioning like this until God is like, okay, do something else.
And you found that in Dubai, in the city of hustle and bustle, you managed to withhold yourself, drove back and just relax in the moment. That's so important. What happened to you? I think one of the things that happened all over the world was COVID. And it was a time where most people's lives were changed. And for you, what was your experience? Did it make any impact or any difference in your life?
To be honest, I didn't really feel COVID, if I'm being honest. I was here in Dubai, but not like here in Dubai. At that time, I was living in Sharjah, but it was like, I was living at the end of Sharjah. I don't know why I'm saying all these details, but I was living in this university city in Sharjah. So it's quite calm. It's a very secluded area. So there was no social distancing kind of pressure and stuff like that. So I was still actually going to work, because then I was still working in the fashion company. So it was like a big factory.
So you still had your job. You didn't lose your job.
So I feel like that was something that I was really grateful to God for, because I had my job throughout COVID. Even after COVID, while I was even trying to cancel my contract, my bosses were like, we don't want you to go, we want you to stay.
Oh.
But then, so I didn't really feel COVID like that, because I was going to work every day. Things were okay for me. I do know that a lot of people had a lot of loss and so many life changes and just a lot.
Yeah.
But it didn't really do that much. I just think it did change relationships. I think when I moved back to Dubai, I felt like relationships did change after COVID. People seemed a little bit more distant.
Yeah. And most people left, so the people you used to connect with,
gone.
they're gone.
Yeah. So, but then COVID wasn't really as much for me, I would say.
So listening to you, it seems like the major impact in your life was the job that burned you out.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Is that the major transition of how you transitioned into where you are right now?
I think so, because I feel like it got me to a place where I had to really sit down with myself. You know, you have those meetings with yourself. I love having meetings with myself. So I had to sit down with myself and ask those hard questions and even get to know myself a little bit more, and just try to find out who I want to be in the next 5 or 6 years or whatever. Like, where am I seeing myself going to, and is this the life I want to keep living? Because I think because of the burnout that I had in that season, I developed this health issue. So it was like I'm very healthy all my life, and then 1 minute I have this issue that is plaguing me now for whatever it is. And I think me seeing how life is very fragile, then it made me to want to take my life more seriously and just be more intentional. And then I went into this whole journey of exploring how I functioned. I'm a very big brain geek. So I love to explore how my brain functions, how my emotions work, mentally, physically, everything. I just love to really explore that, because I'm changing so much. My body is changing so much. 1 minute is like this, next minute. So I was like, I wanted to really get to know how my creator created me and function according to, how he wanted to go. Yeah.
Did you do psychology at all? That's the reason. Like I said, I'm like
didn't,
you.
but I read a lot.
Yeah, I read too.
I read a lot.
I went into psychology to learn more about myself.
Yes.
But also then to learn other people and how I can work with other people. So I get it there. So what advice can you give people in Dubai experiencing burnout? Because some people don't even realize that they're going through burnout.
Yes.
And burnout is a big issue. I actually have a course on that, but it's a big issue, but most people don't realize it. So what advice can you give people?
First of all, I just want to really, put a pin on the fact that you said so many people don't realize that they're going through burnout. And I think it's because we are moving on a very fast pace. So people don't really get time to stop and look inside. And also, people, I think now that is, we have a culture where it's really encouraged for people to have this time so they can be alone, because I think some people are scared of sitting by themselves. They always want to be surrounded by people, always want to be out and doing things, because they're really scared to sit with themselves and what can actually come out. So I would say, especially in a busy city like this, practice sitting with yourself, journaling, asking yourself those hard questions. There's these journaling prompts that you can just get off Pinterest. It's very easy. It's you just really do it to really get to find out who you are. Then you can know where you're at. Like, am I really finding fulfillment in this? Am I chasing something? Because sometimes there's that rat race of I'm supposed to be here by now, I'm not there. This is what they say. This is you have to get to a place where you're like, who am I? What do I value? What am I really here for? What is it all about? What do I stand for? So I think my advice would be practice sitting with yourself. As much as you're being out there with everyone and everything, also don't be scared of your own company. That's where so much can come out. And then when you go out into community, you can see how you can easily apply what you've learned on your own, because you don't grow by yourself. You grow with people. It's practice. It's practice. That's how I call it. I'm like, you grow in community because you're practicing a little bit of love here, a little bit of patience there, and all the things. So do that, and then if you do need to take breaks, I'd really encourage taking breaks. I know it's very hard for a city like this, because some people, we have visas and you have all these things. It's so hard for you to take those breaks. But if you can try, incorporate whatever, social media breaks, whatever it is, day break, whatever it is you want to do. Take a morning, 4 hours off. Don't touch anything. Don't do it. You can intentionally incorporate a rhythm. That's how I call it. Incorporate a rhythm in your life. I'm like that. You see me a certain season, and then sometimes you're not going to see me, and then later you see me again.
That's the thing.
And people will read it the way they want to read it. But I think at the end of the day, you have to come back to you and what you want. Because this affects everything in your life. Your relationships, your career, where you're headed to, whatever you're doing. it will come from that spring of wellness from inside.
And I like what you say, that you took the time to learn about yourself, how you think.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's different from self-care or whatever it is we're calling it these days. Because I think so many people are scared of doing that because they're like, I don't want to be one of these self-care ladies. I think we're missing the whole point of this whole self-care or whatever it is. Like, we're doing it in a way that people are scared of it. It's like, because it's, there's a balance of like, I don't know how to call it, but then you don't have to be selfish with how you do it, you know, because for me, like, I'm one of those people that I really respect my me time and the things that I do to really fuel myself, but I also appreciate my community so much.
Exactly.
I will be there for the people in my life. I will show up when I need to show up, but at the same time, I'm giving myself enough time to really pour in. So there is that, you need to find that balance where you can really serve other people.
Isn't that what Jesus did?
Yeah, don't throw yourself away, you know.
Yeah.
At the
serve
same time,
people, then take time away to invest in you.
You need knowledge and wisdom to do that. You need a lot of knowledge and wisdom to do that. And I think as young people, even, or people in general, read, ask questions, sit with the people that are years ahead of you and be like, how are you doing it? Literally, I'm like, how are you doing it? Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, just ask those questions and be curious and be inquisitive and try to find out, you know. That's it.
And just get around people from different backgrounds, you know, different areas. Learn from them. I love what they're talking about in church, that, you know, we are a family.
Yeah.
Your church becomes your other family, especially when we're in a different country.
Yeah, away.
So if you can find, if you're single, go hang around married people, a family.
And learn from them.
So being intentional, I like your life. You're so much about being intentional in what you do.
Yeah.
And I respect that a lot. Now, let's go back to the fashion thing.
We're going to end it with the fashion thing.
Yeah. So you said you stopped fashion and you're now doing something else, but you might go back to it.
Yeah.
I do get that. I do understand that. I find that with my life, I've done so many things. But one thing I do appreciate is that whatever I've done in the past is helping me now.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever for nothing.
True.
Whatever we've done in life, we can still use it. We call that transfer of knowledge or transfer of experience.
Yeah.
So I appreciate who you are, Courage. Your fashion is still very much.
Thank you.
If I look at your Instagram page, you're dressed so differently. The way you dress speaks.
Yeah.
So you're still into fashion, and your fashion sense is speaking to other people.
Yeah.
So you've not stopped fashion. It's still there, and it's part of your creativity. And it has taught you the school. You did fashion school, right?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
That's the fun part about it. I actually didn't. I learned how to sew by myself, like try and error. I just kept doing it. I kept watching YouTube videos. I kept learning and learning.
Yeah, so you taught you learned.
I was self-taught.
You self-taught.
Yeah.
Amazing,
and then I just learned a little bit more, read a little bit more books, and that was it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love your life. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And like I said, we're like
in
this.
sync.
In sync. So keep up the good work.
I thank you too for encouraging, this episode, because I do feel like it's a good start off to where we're headed. I'm really hoping that we can create a platform where we teach people that they can, because especially now that it's almost the end of the year, we're going to start having all these things where people are like, rush, you need to achieve this or just give up. You're just like, done. The year's ended. But I think you can still achieve whatever you need to achieve. And if you don't achieve it, move it to the next year. You can carry it over.
We're still living.
Yeah, so I want to teach people that you don't need to rush or hurry, because I do feel like like I don't know it all, but I think for me, I'm trying to strike a balance where I'm not running or chasing anything, but I am still doing the things that I say I want to do, and I think you can actually do that. You must not be in a rush all the time or hurrying or trying to be here, or you've not done enough, or you want to do enough. There's just so much craze around that I think people are not in their lives enough. They're in other people's lives so much, and in what everyone else is doing and everyone else is saying, they're missing out on what they actually have in them and in front of them. Like, you can achieve, you can do the things, but you need to do it in God's pace for you.
Yeah.
Not what you want out of your own whatever. Like, surrender that to him and live more in obedience. It's difficult, easier said than done. But what steps are you taking to actively surrender your life to God?
So
Surrender
have
everything.
you surrendered? Are you
I feel like it's
a of surrender.
Yeah, I feel like it's a progressive thing.
Yeah, because believe me, for me, I struggle.
Yeah, it's a
something I'm
struggle
working
for all
on
of us.
to really surrender.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think one thing that I always remember myself at the end of the day is I've seen the track record of when I let something go, it literally shifts my entire life. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I always feel like God is always just waiting for me with his hands and he's like, courage, give it to me. And then immediately I'm like, God, I'm at the end of myself. I cannot do anything. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I cannot. And then I'm like, take it.
That's the key thing. You've done your best. You've put something. You've put some work into it.
Yeah.
And it's not moving or you're not seeing. Then you surrender.
Yeah.
But you're not just sitting back and saying, God, I want to do this, but I'll wait for you to say, go.
So
now do it.
There's that thing that you need to do.
Yeah.
But also, like, to be honest, I do think that, yes, you can put as much effort as you need to, because you do need to be in partnership with God to achieve the things that you need to achieve. Because you're not just going to sit and then bless the work of my hands, but there's nothing for him to bless.
Yeah.
But I do feel like before you begin anything, surrender has to be the first thing, not the end of the journey. From the beginning, you're supposed to be like, God, take it, but I'm going to be in partnership with you. We're going to try this together, but then take it. You know, so I'm trying to be in that place now where I'm like, I want to give everything to him at the beginning. It's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that you can constantly try to train yourself to do it. We're not all perfect in this journey, but it's something you could try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Sorry, I'm now going back. You're single, right?
Oh yes, I am single.
Yeah. So another point about us being single is, what are you doing with your time now as opposed to where you're going? Is marriage something you're looking to do, to get into? Or is this something you're thinking of, or you're just saying, if it happens, it happens?
I love that.
You are
so
intentional.
Me.
Yeah, you're intentional though, Courage. So how are you managing yourself, looking at going in that direction? Where are you at now?
Yeah. Okay, so this is a topic that I think I have a few people who have told me they don't hear me talk about it as much, because I intentionally don't talk about it because I just have different views on it. And I think for me, the desire for marriage came a little bit later. So I've always felt a little bit left out in the whole scenario. And when I had the desire a little bit later, I think 25, 26, and I was like, oh, I probably need to think about a partner by now. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then I think part of my journey has also been like really been heavily influenced by like society and like where you should be thinking about a man by now. You should be getting married. I do know that kids is something that I've always wanted, but I just don't know if I've ever overthought about like wedding, marriage, and all these things. So it's never really been something that I'm constantly thinking about or praying about. That's also another thing, if I'm being really honest. So I think when the desire started coming and I was like, okay, I needed to get to a place in my life where I had to be like, is this something God wants for me? Because I think sometimes we're just like, okay, it's time. It's the way life has to be. But then we forget to know that even in scripture, some people will have the gift of marriage and some people will not. And some people will have the gift of singleness. And you have to get to a place where you know if that gift is for you or is not for you. And sometimes people have the gift of marriage or you have the desire, because the Bible also said if you have that desire, it's for you. So you could still have the desire, and we have people who have it and don't get married. So, but it's different for everyone. So, but I will say that it's something that I am thinking about, but I don't think it's something that I keep at I make it all about my personality or my life or everything. That's why when people meet me, I'm usually talking about the 20 other million projects I'm doing, because I don't think it's something that I have to rush with God. I'm just trying not to do it by myself. I think this is something that, like, that's the person you're going to have kids with, have a home with. Like, I just think it's a decision I don't want to make on my own. I want to do it in community and with God. And I also want to do it in God's timing. But I think the best thing I could do right now is just, like, to keep investing in myself. And just to keep... Because I don't know, like, people tell me, go out, go here, meet this, meet that. I don't know. It's something that I'm still processing. It's something that I'm still processing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Philippah, thank you so much.
Thank you for opening your life. You haven't opened it much. We need to learn more.
We're gonna unpack.
So
as we
maybe
go.
one day you write a book, right? And you put
Amen.
everything
That's
in
the
book.
works. One day,
Yeah,
one day,
you need to write a book. There's so much about you people need to know and appreciate and learn from
Amen.
you.
Amen.
Yeah. So yeah.
We'll see how it goes. See how it goes. But thank you for your time, Philippah. And guys, I'm so excited and happy about this new transition and everything. So I'll catch you on the next episode of In the Meantime. And just keep living and keep growing and keep being the person that you were created to be. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the journey. If you're on Spotify, follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and share the episode. All the links are down in the description where you can find Philippah. It's also down in the description. And I'm excited to see where we go from here. So God bless you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Yay.